this is a topic about, first-time home buyers and the mistakes that they make. And I'll tell you, I think that, we work with a lot of first-time home buyers. We work with everyone in just about every price range. I mean, we sell multi-million-dollar homes. We sell, starter homes. We sell first-time home buyers, move-ups, pretty much everything. But when we talk about first-time home buyers and the importance of them, I want you to understand, if you're not a first-time home buyer, you may know one, and you can certainly recommend us to them. But why they matter is because it is a domino effect. The first-time home buyer buys a house, and then that person moves up, and then that person moves up, and then that person moves up. And the trickle effect is that it ends up leading to a higher-priced home sale down the line. But that first-time home buyer piece has to kick before all the others happen. So the first-time home buyer market is super, super crucial, and it's really important for everyone to understand. So even if you're not in that market, understand that knowing what's going on with first-time home buyers does matter to you.
You may sell your house to a first-time home buyer.
Correct. And here's the other thing. First-time home buyers today are not buying low-end, skimpy houses.
Exactly.
They're skipping that. They're going right to the move-ups. And I'm seeing millennials buying $400,000 and $500,000 and $600,000 houses out of the gate. And so don't think that, when we talk about this, that we're necessarily just talking about a price point. We're talking about experience, someone that has not gone through the process of buying a home before. So let's talk about some of those mistakes. Emotional attachment. And emotional attachment's a mistake. You can really love the colors and features of a home and then have it be a complete miss for you. So you want to avoid too much emotional attachment. Finding the homes yourself is another big mistake. Like I said earlier, some of the websites are days behind the inventory. You gotta have a good agent on your side. We've got a whole crew of top-notch buyer agents, some of the best in the country that can help you at our company. But ultimately, you got to have somebody on your side searching for homes, because a lot of sales happen before homes even hit the market.
That's what I was going to say, especially with your office and how many listings that you continually have, you might have that opportunity to get something before it even goes live on the market.
Yep. Going directly to the listing agent generally recognized as a mistake. Again, if you're a super, super savvy person, you want to go to the agent, okay. If you're a first-time home buyer, the listing agent is paid by the seller and has, in many instances, until they engage with you, a fiduciary duty to the seller. That's where their relationship is. So what you have to understand is that would be like walking into court. Let's say you get popped for DUI this weekend, and you go into court, and you walk in to plead your case, and the state makes their case, and you reach over to the judge and say, Mr. Judge, I just want you to let you know that I don't have my own attorney. I'm just going ahead and have the state's attorney represent me too.
Right.
That judge is going to look at you like you are insane. And that's the same thing. It's a very similar philosophy in my mind. Assuming you don't have rules to follow as a homeowner, cities and counties have ordinances, and then you have homeowners associations. So you got to know what those are. Make sure you follow them. Not saving enough money for a down payment. Again. You don't have to have 20% down. We've blown that myth out of the water on several episodes, but making sure you have some money put in reserve and enough money for a down payment. Not getting pre-approved first.
Hugely important. I mean, we talk about this on the show a lot too. Several reasons for that, but one, and the main one, it lets you know what you can afford. And as a buyer, you don't want to be looking at homes out of your price range, because if you have to go down to what you can afford, you may not like it. Because a $20,000 difference in price can make a huge difference in the amount of home you have. But also with our inventory shortage, if you haven't had a chance to speak with a lender and get your financing in order, by the time you do that, if you find a home that you really like, someone else may come in and get it before you even have a chance to get your financing lined up.
Another mistake they list, and I think this really does depend. I don't want to take this one as a general one for all first-time home buyers, but paying PMI. I mean, again, it depends on how much money you have to put down.
Right.
It depends on what you're paying per month now. There's a whole lot of variables, so I don't like that one because it may make sense to pay PMI.
Right, exactly.
You may be making a great return on your money elsewhere. You may not have the 20% down to get into it, but you rent out a room to cover your costs and make some money. I mean, there's so many variables that just stating in a blanket fashion that you're making a mistake if you're paying PMI is just stupid.
Well, and PMI, right now too, there's a lot of, or not a lot, but there's several companies that offer it. So it's gotten pretty competitive on pricing too. So it's not as high as a
Right.
lot of people think that it is.
Not checking the price of homeowners or flood insurance, that's a big one.
Absolutely.
I mean, using an assumption or thinking or, you gotta get exact numbers. Not checking your credit score.
Yeah, big one. Same
Yeah.
deal. If you don't have qualifying credit scores, it's going to be very difficult to finance a home.
Yep,
So unless you're a cash buyer, you may have trouble getting a loan.
yep. And then not getting a home inspection. I think that, and here's what I want you to understand, you need to get a home inspection, but here's what you need to treat a home inspection as. The blueprint for getting stuff done after ownership.
Agreed.
That's your checklist, that's your
Agreed.
bullet list. Not the list of stuff the seller needs to fix, because guess what? It ain't happening.
Right.
Not in this market. Seller will say pound sand, and I got offers behind you. I can't tell you how many deals blow up and how many buyers we come screaming back to us because they wanted repairs. The seller said no, and then they called bluff and said, well, then cancel the deal. The seller does and moves on, then the buyer has regrets.
Right.
Like, it is not the seller. Again, every contract's different, but most of them, it's not the seller's obligation to make certain repairs. Some it is, some it isn't. Changing paint colors, making change.
Right.
Those are cosmetic. Those aren't
Outlet
defects.
covers, I've
Yeah.
seen people ask for.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
those
it's-
things are less than $1 at
It's
Lowe's.
ridiculous sometimes. I mean, really stupid to offend a seller and risk losing a deal over asking for dumb repairs. I mean, again, if the roof is shot, if it's got a sinkhole, if it's got an infestation of live termites, I mean, there are things you blow up a deal for, but so often buyers aren't educated enough, agents aren't strong enough to explain it to them, and you get into this negotiation over nonsense. The buyer should understand that inspection report is really for them to use post-closing, except for finding major defects.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's an issue that could prevent you from getting homeowners insurance, then it is something that needs to
Right.
be addressed. But, minor petty stuff, that's,
leave it alone.
let it go.
Yep. All right, we're going to be back to wrap up the last segment. We're actually going to talk about some real estate stats after a quick break here on the Duncan Duo Show.